So I want to thank everybody from the Barnard Center for having me. I won't go over the huge list of names again because we'll be doing that over and over again. But it's a total honor and a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited about this collaboration with Marisa, which I think we'll call a chance collaboration. The essence of it will be finding out what the resonances are here today when we actually met for the first time. So I'm going to think of it as a Cage Cunningham operation. Anyway, I'm really excited to be here. Feminism and utopia, two of my favorite things. What could be better? I'm so glad feminism is on the way back. And then when I read the small print in the invitation, which was a few weeks later, and I saw it was queering pedagogy, I thought, okay, that's good too. I'm into both of those things. Then what will happen? I don't know. But anyway, on the way up, I thought it's always good to start a presentation with a joke. Since I'm very nervous. And you know, it's since I got my tenure-track job, I've not been hosting as many late-night cabarets as I used to. So I'm low on jokes, but I fell asleep listening to a documentary on Bruce Vilanch last night, who's terrific. So the thing that I woke up with in the morning was that Sal and Sophie are in bed, and Sal is going, "Sophie, what happened? You don't have any boobs, and your box is tight." And she says, "Sal, get off my back." Okay, so I thought that was a great joke to open up this conference with. Or else I thought it was a huge challenge to myself to open up this talk with. So, feminism, utopia, queer pedagogies, frankly, what it really did, no tweeting during my talk. It's going to make me very paranoid and nervous. Talk to your friends later. What's this? Woo. Queer feminism, utopia, queer pedagogy. What it actually did to me was send me reeling right into 1970s open classrooms and elementary education experiments. Actually, that's where I first went. The very queer utopic pedagogic spaces they were, and the very queer failure that they had in their teaching of following your desire, and their knocking normativity right out of the center of the playing field. So I give it a little nod to Judith Halberstam and Vaj Davis in their incredible work about queer failure and queer failure ethics. In terms of this notion of queer failure. And so I dug into that, which thrilled me, but I soon realized that the most exciting thing to talk about and what people kind of really wanted to hear about was Circus amok. So, and the work that I do there. But we'll get back to the classroom, you know, hopefully eventually, because I think when we're talking queering pedagogy, a lot of the really important shit is happening when the kids are young. But the Circus amok is been the main body of my artistic practice. It's a one-ring, no-animal, queerly situated political spectacular that tours the parks of New York City annually, although recently every other year because I'm getting old and tired and it's hard to raise the money. Every year there is a different theme of social justice. You know, I was talking to Greg. Is that your name? I'm sorry. Craig. The ballet dancer, tech person in the back? What is it? Ken? Cute. And he is, too. He's quite a Ken. And he was asking me about my beard, and I said, I'm not really planning on talking about it. I'm talking about other things. And he was saying, you know, people are going to kind of ponder. Anyway, it grows there. So I just... And I appreciate him for bringing that up, and I will talk about it more later, and often it gets into my work, but for now, let's just let that roll on. Anyway, there's a different theme of social justice in every show, so we've done shows about immigration, subprime mortgages, about education, about the Iraq War, about colony collapse disorder, about gentrification. Our most recent show this past September was about over-policing, about stop and frisk, about the new Jim Crow, and that's what we'll look at an excerpt from. But I just want to talk about the circus as my feminist utopia for a minute, because it is. It's free. And in my feminist queer utopia, we all have equal access. Anyone can come, and so it will be. I can make it happen in this one little project that I do, my utopia. Not only is it free, but it moves from park to park. So it goes to all kinds of places all over the city. We get out of the art ghetto. We speak to people who are not choosing to come see us. It lives in a queer world. It's all kinds of queer, but it speaks easily to all kinds of people in all kinds of parks throughout the boroughs, which is kind of a heaven for me. How is it queer? Well, it's gender queer. The bearded woman is the ringmaster, not the sideshow. So we're flipping power dynamics right there. It's pushing against all kinds of mainstream norms. It's offering new ways, I love that, to think about issues. And that in the pairing of the scholar with the artist, I should dance a little, so. We're thinking about issues and hopefully strategies of resistance. It's a realm of educated hope, a concrete utopia, to quote Jose Munoz in his great work, Cruising Utopia. The sets and lights, they change all the time, and for a Gemini, this is gorgeous. We have cloudy days, we have sunny days. The sound is changing. We're working with the screaming of people going down the cyclone, or we're working with birds up in St. Anne's, and a more pastoral park in the Bronx. There's a great band. The colors and sounds excite me. So I'm living in this gorgeous world. And a community is created, a temporary community, out of a group of strangers sitting together. And Jill Dolan talks about this in her work about utopian performance and that incredible sensation that a group of people who've dragged themselves to a show have in a moment of performance when all of their hope is somehow opened and awakened. I'm able to get naked in the parks. I work with friends. I pee in a bucket. What could be better than that? We claim the city as our home in this work, a shared home with friends and strangers. And in reclaiming this space, we're taking a dramatic action in the face of forced sterilization of the city as it's gentrified by government-supported developers. So these are glorious acts of resistance, which are utopic in their desire and their belief that we will make some kind of change. So we're going to look at a show, a little clip of a show. This is the Stop and Frisk show. That show involved some narrative. One of the players, couldn't make it because he was always getting stopped and frisked, and the circus, of course, was about to get closed because didn't have a budget. There were information acts, so there was narrative acts, there was little... That was for Ken, my pirouette. There was little... Ken, who runs the tech in this building, is a ballet dancer. What else? Oh, and there was a lot of talk about a campaign called Milk Not Jails, which is a campaign that's organizing to move support and funds upstate back to farming, back to the farming economy and away from the prison industrial complex there, so that we can get grassroots support to shut down prisons, which is part of the reason that we're doing this incredible incarceration push. So in this piece that I'm going to show, we were teaching an actual thing. Now, some of the clips from the circus that I can show are a little more queer in all kinds of ways. Bad bourgeois lesbian mothers and their bad treatment of their nannies and big campy, all kinds of queer things. But this one is a specific one, and I'm showing it because we're talking about pedagogy and teaching, and it actually teaches specific things, and it teaches what to do when you get stopped and frisked. And so we got these actions from a couple groups that were working with this Know Your Rights campaign. So where we're going to start is we've sung and danced to a Scissor Sisters song, Let's Have a Kiki, with new words, which was Let's Stop the Frisky. And then Ashley Brockington steps up to lead the audience in this next section. This is Tompkins Square Park, one of 7 parks that we toured to this year.
Okay, people, this is the time. This is the time for you to get off your butts and sing along and dance along with us. In the meantime, we're going to teach you a few things. What you need to do should you get pulled over by the popo. That's right. Stand on up, lovely people. Stand on up. Thank you, Cindy Greenberg. Stand on up. Yeah. Here we go. So, should the NYPD roll up on ya, the first thing
that. There's a few more verses, but I'm going to stop it right there. That way we'll have more time to blab, because those were the important parts. It does say, and keep your hands where the officer can see them. And then we do have 16 counts of your funkiest best. Freestyle action before we repeat it. So there you have it. And now I'm going to just try to catch that a little bit in queering the pedagogy. But first of all, the act itself is a Gusto Bowalian rehearsal of what to do when confronted by authorities. It's a rehearsal of practicing action, breaking through a paralysis that might happen. And we've done this in other shows. Sometimes we actually take action. Sometimes we've all picked up our cell phones, waved them in the air, and called the mayor, and demanded mandatory inclusionary zoning, got little jokes in the gentrification show. But in this case, hopefully you'll take this sense with you. You'll remember to keep your hands in view. You'll remember to get the badge number. And you'll feel like you have a couple hundred folks from Tompkins Square Park, or wherever it is that you saw the show, standing with you in solidarity if this moment happens. If you come from a neighborhood where this is not going to happen, or you're not a black man of color, then you are living into this experience, imagining, thinking, preparing, rehearsing, so sort of pondering that. But what's really queer about this pedagogy? So the resistance is styled very queerly, as I felt like you all noticed. We embody queer gesture. Trying on the queer. We're sharing our powers of strategy. So let's just try. We won't do the whole number, but if everyone can give a little. It's a two-hand. Stay calm. Stay cool. Stay calm. Stay cool. You have the right to remain silent. And then the other one that I think we can get to the gay in very quickly is if we all warm up our right shoulder. And we say, and get that badge number. You don't have to work that. And get that badge number. Good, okay, you got that. So what does it feel like? What does just that feel like, right? We get giggles in the room. What does it release? In Cruising Utopia, Munoz says, queerness is an ideality. Put another way, we're not yet queer. We may never touch queerness, but we can feel it as the warm illumination of a horizon imbued with potentiality. So we're trying to awaken the queer potentialities of our entire audience through kinetic experience. We welcome everybody in. So they move beyond their comfort zone, at the same time practice standing up to the police. We're standing up, but we're not standing up with a traditional masculine show of strength. We're standing up with a queer strength that we offer to everybody. It's a campy fuck you. We're teaching with song and dance. These are actions we're offering that reverberate with the power of a community, queer communities built on the experience of struggling together in the face of ongoing attempts at social and state control. It speaks to and from our history, the history of our genderqueer foremothers throwing their shoes at Stonewall, wily, trickstery ways. It's fun, but it's not just a dance against sexual violence, although there's value in that, or simply reclaim the streets. We're taking this energy to share clear tools of survival and resistance, these very specific techniques. So it's somehow utopic because it believes we can participate in this change. Somehow notice these stars in my eyes. So we teach the tools, we offer this embodied experiment, and we do what feels like queering the space. And queering the space feels like liberating the space. And I want to just, the last section, talk about moving the notion of this queerly liberated space into the classroom. So let me go back to the, because I'm teaching so much now, right? I'm working at Pratt, so it's become a big part of my thing. So one of the first utopias of the circus that I talked about was that it's free. Access. And this is, how do we deal with this horrible situation that many of us are in? I'm teaching at a private institution. Here we are at a private institution. We're at my institution creating an MFA in performance studies, which I'm about to call problematic, and I am advertising to all of you. At the same time, it's theory and practice, very unusual. But I'm part of this movement, this mad MFA movement that's enticing and coercing students into being the next big losers in the next big credit bubble, the next big credit debacle. So we need to constantly organize for more funding, for more scholarships, or we might start new institutions, free schools, a new Black Mountain, but an urban one right here in the city. Or we might start teaching in unaffiliated institutions, but I've just come from 30 years of being broke, so I'm gonna keep my job for now. But I came up through places like Movement Research, which is a postmodern dance school that's loosely strung together teachers offering classes all around town, through internships, through mentorships. Got a lot of my critical thinking and political thinking through my activist work. So as a part of trying to, we can be a part of trying to bring people who are trained in all kinds of ways into our institutions, changing the notion of what constitutes a respectable education. So at the same time we're creating these new programs, we can rethink the need to have them. When I think of going into the classroom itself, queering pedagogy there, kind of going to go in two different streams. One is queering the curriculum, and one is really queering the space, queering the approach. A lot of great people doing work with queering the curriculum. I'm working in performance, so I'm not working in these curricula so much, but GLISTEN, which is Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Networking, and they're teaching tolerance, getting to know the history and the value of a particular group of people, a very sort of positive example approach. But I would really want to point you towards the work that this Queering the Curriculum group that's been meeting at CUNY's doing. And I'm just going to quote Rachel Matson on that. Attempting to teach about homophobia as an expansive category, one that not only motivates violence against queers, but also helps construct a range of identities, masculinities and feminities, one that disciplines the behaviors of gay and straight folks alike. They're trying, this is sort of history focused, but they're trying to develop a historically grounded anti-homophobia education materials that ask students to grapple with the complexities of how power works, how change happens, how each of us relates to these larger historical processes. These materials ask students to consider how heteronormativity as a historically produced set of power relations endangers and impoverishes all of this. And we get all this sort of in the queer theory world, but these are people that are working on curricula to do this on the high school and undergraduate level. So I think having specific tools is incredibly important as we all dream and desire of what we want this kind of new classroom to look like. I'm teaching performance. I teach embodied work, and I really want to sort of go out with that. I'm going to kind of advocate for the use of the body in the classroom. When we bring the body into the classroom, something amazing happens, which is why I decided to stand here rather than there. We use the bodies to shake it up, to get our energy up, and to see each other, to be present in the room, right? We're here. We're here. We're queer. We're not going shopping. We're here. Come on, everybody, we're queer. We're not going shopping. Let's hear it. We're queer. We're queer. We're not going shopping. Twice more. We're here. We're queer. We're not going shopping. Okay, once is good enough. I will say I often queer the crowd like this. I do it in my classroom. I do it in the sideshow. I out all my students. I don't want anyone to have to come out in my class. They're all out. I call the boys, girls, hey girl, and I just make sure that I'm loving them when I say that. It's a way to blast right through the stigmas that are terrifying these young people, right? Wherever they stand on that, whatever that means to them. And I know there's a lot of gender pronouncing is a very tricky thing in this world, but you just got to keep your eyes open and, as I say, see everybody and go for it. In the queering project of removing heteronormativity from every corner of the space, we got to have a space where everybody is welcomed into it and appreciated. Bringing an active body into the space allows and forces everybody to be seen, to come out of the margins. I do all kinds of physical practices, and I know people that do this in their history class, in their literature class. But in my performance work, we try on all kinds of gendered behaviors, right? We're doing a play, boys. You know, it's always cross-cast through the many genders. Everybody's reading everybody's part. When we're getting up, everyone's practicing strength like this and strength like this. We're all trying it on all the time. We're always stretching. I'm lucky to be able to open up some of this thinking through my beard, some of this ease at being seen. When I walk in, gender's destabilized, and I embrace queer failure. The embrace of queer failure is established. I failed at attaining any kind of perfection. Few. You can too, class, right? Right, move on. Then they just start working on it, no matter, so gender's always going on, no matter what else we're talking about, just like in the circus. We're talking about police brutality, we're talking about housing, but we're talking about queering the space at the same time. If you don't have a beard to open up the space, if you don't have the sense of my out will help their out, you know, there's this one great kind of dance therapy exercise. You all get up in a circle, and one person does this, a warm-up exercise, right? And then everybody does that, right? And that's it. And then the next person does whatever they want to do. And then everybody does that. And so everybody embodies everybody. Every gesture is fine. Every body is perfect. Every voice is valued. We've started reading aloud together. We take an article and we sit in a circle and we read it aloud. We don't just talk about it. And everybody holds the authorship of the knowledge. Everybody performs, and it becomes very intimate. We often do, no matter what the class is, some sort of social graphing exercise. That means everybody gets up. It's a way we look at class. And then again, we just want to open it up for everything. Okay, walk around the room, walk around the room. If you grew up renting, go over there. If you grew up owning, go over there. Walk around the room, walk around the room. Country over there, city over there. Private school over there, public school over there. We see each other. We have this embodied knowledge of each other to move from. And I've deemed everybody queer. We move from there. And the discussion of Judith Butler turns into a feminist, to a consciousness-raising exercise. We go there. So we're bringing the emotional, we're bringing the intellectual, we're bringing the body all together. We often talk about moving across disciplines, of breaking down disciplines, of the disciplinary effects of our disciplines. So I like to make a call for including the body in this cross-disciplinary work, and the experience and the emotional life of the student. As the elementary school teachers say, teaching to the whole student in their open classrooms. I'd like to suggest we model the utopic queer world we want in our classrooms, where everybody's seen, where everybody can embody queer and want a better world, where everyone's encouraged to see their own racism and homophobia, and with love, we practice moving through it, out of the classroom, towards the big queer feminist utopia world we want to create, or you want to create, whatever that might be. Thank you very much.